Hey, what up guys? My name is Mairo Vergara. I'm from Brazil. I learned English by myself and I'm currently learning French. And today I would like to talk to you about how long does it take to learn a foreign language. So first of all, when it comes to the ability to understand and speak a foreign language, although there are different ways of categorizing the different levels of ability that a person can have in a foreign language. For instance, we have the European framework where you have the levels A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, which equivalates to basic, intermediate, and advanced levels. For the sake of simplicity, in this video, I'm going to categorize the different levels of mastering a foreign language into just two different levels. So we have first level 1, which I'm going to call the basic communication skills in a foreign language, aka the survival level in the language, and we have level 2, which I'm going to call an advanced understanding of the language, aka fluency. So let's talk first about the level 1, basic communication skills in a foreign language. Basic communication skills in the language means that you have the ability to have basic conversations in the language. You can probably read reasonably well. You can even travel, go abroad. Like if we're talking about English, you can go to the US, you can go to England, you can go to Australia. You can even get a job in those countries. But of course, you're not going to be able to answer phone calls or attend meetings and have complex discussions in the language. It's a survival level. You're not going to starve. You can have a basic conversation, but you're not fluent. So for instance, you cannot listen to the radio and understand what they're talking. You cannot sit at a table and have a nice conversation with, among native speakers because they're going to talk too fast, you're not going to understand, they're going to make jokes, they're going to laugh, you're not going to laugh because you're not understanding what they're saying. So it's just the ability to have basic conversations in the language. Now the question is, how long does it take to reach this level? I would say if you have a good method and if you try to study every day, if you put in at least 1 hour every day, doesn't need to be every day, like 5 days a week, 1 hour a day, 5 hours a week, that's pretty good. And if you do that with a good method, I would say you're going to reach this basic conversational level, basic communication level between 6 months to 1 year. Of course, you have to put in at least 1 hour a day. You have to study every day. You have to have a good method. If you study like 2 hours a day, 2 hours a week, here in Brazil we have a lot of private English teaching learning schools where people study 2-3 hours a week. That's not enough. If you do that, if you study with a method that's not that good, it's going to take you more. It can take you 2-3 years to reach this basic communication level. So to sum up, basic communication, basic conversation skills in the language with a good method, putting in at least 1 hour a day, it's going to take you between 6 months and 1 year. Now level 2, an advanced understanding of the language, aka fluency, and by the way, different people have different definitions of the word fluency. So some people think that fluency is the ability to speak the language exactly like a native speaker with perfect grammar and perfect pronunciation. Some people think like if you are conversational in the language, that also can be called fluency. My personal definition of fluency is you are fluent in a foreign language if you have the ability to, first of all, understand the spoken language at a very high level, which means you can listen to the radio in the language, you can watch a movie in the language without subtitles, you can watch YouTube videos in the language. You have a level of understanding of the spoken language close to the level of understanding of a native speaker, and you have the ability to communicate in the language well. It doesn't have to be very well. You don't have to have perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation. Like the way I'm speaking English right now. I'm pretty sure if you're a native speaker, you're going to be able to spot grammatical mistakes, pronunciation mistakes that I've made in this video, but you can see that I clearly can communicate and express my ideas in the language. So if you have this very high level of understanding of the spoken language and you can communicate in the language, for me, that's my definition, I'm going to say that you're fluent in the language. Now, how long does it take to reach this level in the language? Well, if you have a good method and you study every day, as I was saying, you put in at least 1 hour a day, that's going to take you between 2 to 4 years to reach fluency in a foreign language. And I know that sounds like a long time. Maybe you're thinking 4 years to reach fluency in a foreign language. But if you stop and think about it, 4 years to reach fluency. Fluency is a very high level. Remember guys, I'm not talking about the ability to have a basic conversation in the language. If you want to have basic conversations in the language, you can study for 6 months, 1 year, 1.5, and that's more than enough. That's what I did with French. I studied French for 1 year, then I went to France, and I was able to have basic conversations in French. But what I'm trying to do now, I've been studying for almost 2 years, what I'm trying to do now is move from this basic communication level to a fluent level, and that's going to take me 2, 3, maybe 4 years of study. So to sum up the video, if you study every day, if you have a good method and you want to reach a conversational level, it's going to take you between 6 months to 1 year. And if you want to reach true fluency in the language, it's going to take you a little bit more, probably between 2 years to 4 years of study. So that was the video. I hope you like it. If you like it, don't forget to click that like button, leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next video. Thank you guys.